You don't have your copy?
No scoops.
Mr. Eric Ellis, Chief Inspector Benjamin Colt, Inspector Darrell Chandler, and Inspector Interwaldus Yusefa. What I will do now, I would like to pass the word over to Mr. Yusefa, or Mr. Chandler, who will commence informing you about this case.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome once again. I'm going to give you a general explanation on what we are busy with. The bill of sale document is now an official document which is mandated by the insurance companies on the Dutch side of St. Martin to be completed by buyers and sellers of used vehicles before one can acquire auto insurance. This project seeks to standardize the document and to make it official so that buyers of such vehicles will be protected from purchasing unsuspected stolen vehicles, which usually results in loss of their investment. Why now, most would ask? As of June 2015, a spike in car thefts was noticed. After an in-depth analysis was carried out by the police department, it was uncovered that there was an alarming number of reported stolen cars on both the Dutch and French side of the island. The statistics further indicated that between January 1st, 2013 and the 1st of June 2015, approximately 400 vehicles were reported stolen on the Dutch side of the island, and approximately 700 vehicles on the French side during the same period. While several of these vehicles were never recovered, investigations show that the stolen vehicles were not shipped off island. What was discovered was that car theft had become a lucrative business in which stolen vehicles, the VIN numbers would be altered, or they would be resold over and over several times within a short period, so that tracing it back to the original owner became almost impossible, and the vehicle eventually would end up back into circulation with a new owner who most times is unaware that the vehicle that they have purchased was stolen. After the internal discussion, a plan of action on how best to tackle the problem was formed. We clearly defined our objectives, which was to curb the car theft on the island. In reaching this goal, we chose to use a different approach by getting our partners involved together, who are most affected by the criminal practice, to work with us. This then would make our efforts more effective. Therefore, we met with the St. Martin Insurance Association and proposed a plan of action to them, with which they got on board from the get-go, as they too have sustained hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses as a result of car thefts. After much brainstorming and an in-house review by KPSM was done as to what happens to the stolen vehicles on the island, it became clear that the best possible solution to curb this situation was to structure the procedure of transferring of ownership of vehicles. Hence, the project to change and standardize the bill of sale was born. In the past, anyone selling a vehicle could easily make their own bill of sale, sometimes even handwritten, and the vehicle would be transferred between the seller and the buyer without any possible control or real-time information on the vehicle, the buyer, or the seller. By regulating this document, it removes the uncertainties as it relates to ownership of the vehicle and protects the buyer from possible purchasing a stolen vehicle and losing their hard-earned money in the process. The partners that were involved in this project was the Insurance Association, the Government IT Department, DCOM, Mr. Charles Brown, who was our graphic designer, the Inspections Department, the Receiver's Office, the Gendarmerie, the Simpson Bay Service Center. All these partners were very influential in the creation, reviewing, and finalizing of the document. We moved from having a simple document that transformed into a user-friendly official document. This new standardized document will be the only accepted bill of sale accepted by all insurance companies and their agents and brokers on St. Martin. One of the main aspects of the new bill of sale is that it will be only available online. This document will be available on the government's website, where you will be prompted to fill in the form, and once all required fields are completed, then you will be instructed to download and print your bill of sale. To complete the process, the document must be signed by both the buyer and the seller before being taken to the insurance company. Please note the documents that must accompany the bill of sale when acquiring insurance for the vehicles are a copy of the seller's ID, which would be the driver's license, the identification card or the passport, the buyer's valid driver's license, a copy of the vehicle's last insurance policy, a copy of the vehicle's last inspection card, and if the car is being sold from the front side, the original carte grise. A 5 stamp would be also required. One of the control features of the new bill of sale is that a random number is generated by the system, which can later be used to provide proof of ownership should the vehicle be stolen and later found. The target date for implementing this bill of sale document is Sunday, May 1st, 2016. After aforementioned date, the insurance companies and brokers will only accept the new bill of sale that can be generated online. With exceptions, the website and the procedures of use will be given out before the implementation date. The document can be generated from the comfort of your own home. If you have a computer with internet connection, it's absolutely free of charge. The possibility also exists that documents can be done at the Simpson Bay Service Center or at your insurance company or broker if you don't have access to internet service. Other information regarding the website and how it should be used will be explained at a later date.
So with that, what we would want to do, I would want to have Mr. Eric Ellis to give you any information that he may have in regard to the implementation of this new bill of sale. Mr. Ellis?
Thank you, Inspector Henson. The victims of this crime are not only limited to the person that lost his vehicle, but also is the person buying the vehicle, that unsuspected buyer of the vehicle. It is also the garages that are selling the parts for the vehicle. Most of these vehicles are stripped and parts are sold. We found also that the banks are also, if they have a loan on the vehicle, the banks are also victims of this crime. We've also found that, of course, the insurance companies, if you have an all-risk policy and you pay your client, the insurance companies are a victim. And we have also found that most of the crimes committed on the island are committed with a stolen vehicle. Robberies, etc., are committed with a stolen vehicle. The Insurance Association has collaborated with the police force. We have been working on this project for some 5 to 6 months now. And as Inspector Chandler mentioned, one of the ways to curb it is, it's not going to fix the problem, but at least one of the ways to curb it is to at least introduce a document, one document that will be used by all persons. At this time, as Mr. Sandler mentioned, anyone can by hand prepare a bill of sale, what we call a bill of sale. Anyone by hand can do so. Sometimes they come to the office, and at the office, they complete the document. By having one title that everyone will go to, online it is free, it's not going to cost you anything. By having one document that everyone will have, will complete, it will be required when you come to insure your vehicle, we will be able to at least manage this a little better. We will require that the persons, when they come to the insurance company, the buyer and the seller, have with them, as Inspector Chandler mentioned, an ID of the buyer and of course the seller, copy of the last insurance policy. You will be required to put that 5 seal on it. So not much has changed except for the certificate of title, or what we're calling the bill of sale. That bill of sale will be required for all used vehicles. At this time, in the first phase, it's not for new vehicles yet. It is required for transfer of ownership for used vehicles. It is the DNA for the vehicle. When a vehicle is reported stolen, of course the owner reports it at the police station, and if the vehicle is found, when the police officers are conducting their inspection, if the vehicle is found, they can go to the control number, and they will be able to determine who the buyer was of this vehicle, the seller of the vehicle, and where the vehicle is insured, of course. So there is a lot of work that is going on in the background. We will leave that for a second press conference. But there is a lot of work that will be going on in the background when you complete this document.
What's important in the future is going to be the control points. And this is one of our main ones, which is the control number. This number, we could check, insurance could also check that the car that the bill of sale was done online. There are a lot of safeties in it. In that part of it also we took quite time taking care of. It was a labor intensive. It sounds like it's easy, but you got yourself quite a bit of questions. Why this way? Let's do it that way. And with all the partners, including the gendarmerie, they too had their input in this document. Most likely, the question is they're going to use part of the document themselves when they're doing the controls. That's their input into this. There's a final version that's going to most likely be ready by the next press conference. And then at that time also we will give a demonstration of how the document works complete. We should make it as as personal, as easy as possible to work with. And it's something that, as we said, was lacking for quite a while. I heard you guys spoke about it a while ago, but we're getting there with the standardizing of this document. And this is what it's supposed to look like at one of the final versions.